Okay, guys, let's try this again. If you guys can hear me, make sure to give me the thumbs up in the comments section. But if not, make sure to let me know otherwise. Let's see if I can get Steve back on here.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Well, hey, you know what? We got some time to figure it out. Can I get a thumbs up if you? Okay, you're saying 1 minute. I'm not
How
gonna
about
go in.
how about now? How about now?
Oh, wait. What?
How
Do
about
that
now?
again?
Can you hear me
I
now?
can.
All right. So anyway, as I was saying, thank you again for joining me for tonight, Steve. I'm just really glad that we had some time available for us to do this together.
Yeah, no. I'm glad. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is my first time streaming indoors, so the technical difficulties that I see everyone else having, apparently we have them. So, how'd you fix it? What happened?
Well, for some, before I get to that, I just wanted to apologize
Oh,
for before because somebody was calling me on my phone. My audio got screwed up for some reason, so I had to
oh.
log out of the stream and then start over again, which I absolutely hate. No pun intended, but I um I had to start the stream all over again. And once I added you, I realized that my microphone was still turned off, so I went ahead and turned it back on again.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome. We're here now. That's what matters, right?
Yep, definitely.
Well,
So, what can you tell us about the York show that you went to? How did you and your wife enjoyed it?
so I'm already noticed in the comments. Hopefully, I saw Adventures of Lark up there, and he's one of the people that I met. Larkin, in addition to I think 17 other creators, which is wild. I didn't expect to meet that many, and I definitely didn't expect that many to know what my channel was. I'm actually was just texting with Jason from JD Stucks, and he's like, "Yeah, I've seen your videos." I'm like, "You're just flattering me." He's like, "No, the one where you have the big boy and it's open." I'm like, "Oh, okay," because I've seen your stuff, Mike, and I was actually subscribed to you before I went to York, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these guys, I've seen their material just like I've seen yours, and it's all pretty good. You know, by the way, one of the biggest things about having so many creators in your view, or at least you subscribe to, it's like finding your own way of doing things without copying. Like I look like RBP. I only know this because everyone asks me if I'm him, and I'm like, no. I have black hair. It's spiked up, so I can't hold my engines in my thumbnails like this, or else I'll be copying the guy. Um, but yeah, I met a lot of creators. I didn't get to see York for what it was because we were talking the entire time. 3 days, Jen's in a wheelchair. I'm pushing her around, and which, you know, God love her for going with a broken foot to begin with. But everywhere I went, it was just, hey, how's it going? You know, we watch your channel, and it was humbling. Really, really cool. Tons of stuff there, but I have to go back in fall just because I don't know what, like, I don't know what the booths have to offer. I ended up getting just one item, or no, two items. This is the big one. This is a successor to, so Big Boy Trains. I have the Big Boy, and the successor to that is the turbines, like the Veranda, the Gen 1 and Gen 3 turbines, and
Mm.
this is the successor to those, the DD35 and the DD40. So I finally have one. This is the DD35. I want to get the 40, but Lionel's never made one. So that's really the only engine I got through all of York, which is shocking. You know, I'm looking at all the videos and I see the train hauls and the things that people took home. And that's not me. I'm a little jealous because I wanted to do a nice video and have some content of my big train haul. But no, Jen bought more items than I did. She only bought a bunch of smoke and smaller things. But I got that and an M1 Abrams flat car. That's it.
Very nice.
In addition to that, I got tons of relationships, that, you know, tons of friendships that I built, um, a bunch of just really good people. And as we had a 11-hour drive home, as Jen said on the way home, you know, we didn't come home with very many things monetarily, but the relationships are just, it's invaluable. Really cool people with great suggestions. And you know, a lot of people have reached out to me now just talking about things back and forth on a lot of what to do or what not to do. And RBP shared one of my big boy video. What? Like, what?
That must have been quite an honor.
That was it was a huge deal to me because I didn't even know that he knew who I was. So to see that, I'm like, you know, we're driving. Also a note, I learned a valuable lesson. I was the only person that posted every morning. Every morning, 8 o'clock, I had a video from the previous day. I'm glad I did, because on the way home on the last day, all of the YouTubers dropped their videos. So every day my videos were soaring. They were doing really well. And I'm like, man, the last day, this video is doing great. I've never had 320 views or 380 views in an hour. And then it just went to nothing. I'm like, did YouTube die? Like, what happened? Nope.
Mm.
I checked my feed, and 15 other videos were loaded between Dakman and Chris. Everybody loaded their videos within, like, right around noon. And I'm like, okay, learned my lesson. Post everything before they do, or else as soon as they do it, as being a small channel, as soon as they post their stuff, then it's a bigger fight. Which, hey, you know what? They've earned their right. They've got hundreds of videos loaded. They've put the time in. You know, they should get the publicity, or at least the viewership. So, but yeah, does that answer your question? I rambled on for a little bit there, Mike.
It definitely does. And I actually do feel the exact same way as you do when you upload, well, not just me, but when you all also upload a video as well. I kind of feel like sometimes when I check the views, you know, once in a while they're not as high like I hoped they would be. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, you know, are there really that many people, you know, going online and checking out a whole lot of train videos every 24/7? And like you said, I guess it usually depends on the timing that you post something, because like you said, you know, Dakman's Train Productions, RPP, Jason's channel, you know, they tend to upload their videos either earlier on in the day, like around noontime, or later in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, in that particular situation, everybody was pretty worn out and pretty tired for, you know, viewing or filming every day. And then I believe, sorry about touch the mic there. I believe everybody, or a bunch of people, went to Chris's Trains and Things, Chris Montagna. They went to his house one day and stayed super late, which was good for me because they're all hanging out. I'm still too new. I didn't get that invite, but I'm working my way up to it. It gave me time to edit. So I was up till 2 in the morning that night editing my second video, which did pretty well. And I got that loaded up, and it worked out for me. You know, it's just one of those things. Because of this, and you know, I'm able to do all that testing, things like that. All the YouTubers were so busy that the train people were just, like I said, checking out mine. But there's a lot of them. You know, I'm looking at my audience, and what is it? 80% of my audience is over the age of 65. It blows my mind that people over the age of 65 are on YouTube and watching these videos. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And if you're in this audience and you're over 65 watching YouTube, that's great, because my 50-year-old brother says, you know, he can't understand YouTube. So there's people that are much older doing it, and if I'm producing content that works, that's great. So
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like the younger demographic has like a little bit of a problem understanding social media than what we do.
yeah, you know what? They have their ways of doing things and they stick with it. Um, you know, a good example of that is, you know, I see the demand for a lot of shorts, and I think you create a pretty good amount of shorts.
Mm,
Um, and I, I'm still trying. You know, I'm 44. I don't know how old you are, Mike, but I'm still
28.
trying to. Oh, okay. So you're younger. So that makes sense why that works for you. I don't know what people are looking for on shorts, so I'm still trying to learn it. I think I only have like 5 up, and that's a whole separate area where I have to learn and get used to things. You know, I'm looking at the YouTube requirements. I have to have, what is it, 10 million shorts views in 90 days. I, is that possible? Like, do people do that? 10 million shorts views in 90 days? I don't know. But that either way, the people that have those are much better than me. I'm still working my way up to be that good with content.
Now, there was actually one reel that I posted on YouTube not too long ago. It was
Okay.
a little short clip of my Norfolk and Western 611 train set from Rail King,
Yeah.
and I basically just put the word "smoking" in the title of the thumbnail, and I'm watching the views, and even even though they were getting more higher and higher, I didn't really expect them to hit 1,500 at all, and I was like, well, not 1,500, but 15,000 actually, and
Yeah.
I
15,000.
was I was literally like shocked. Like that's probably the highest that my reels have ever gotten in a lifetime. Usually when I do one of those reels, I mostly get like either viewings from either like the 200s or 300s. Very rarely I would get something that's about like 2K or 2.9K or like 35K or whatever. But
Yeah.
the Norfolk and Western video, I was just stunned. I didn't really know what else to say when I saw how many people were reviewing it to watch it.
No, that's good. Did you get a decent amount of subscriptions to it at all, or?
Definitely.
Oh, awesome.
I think I probably made like 5 to 6 new subscribers just with that one video actually.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, very good, very good. That's the biggest battle right now is trying to get to that, for me, that 1,000 mark for subscribers. Because after that, um, I'm not really concerned so much with that, because you don't need to be a subscriber to see my videos. You know, if you've been there once, as we all know, YouTube will keep sending you the videos on your screen, whether you're subscribed or not.
Right.
But you have to have that magical number before you can be monetized, and that's an elusive number. I just checked today. I'm at like 45,000 views or something like that, or 48,000, and 167 subscribers. So it's that's an elusive number to get to. So actually, I'm
It
going to
sure
grab it
is.
right now. I'll be right back.
No problem. All right. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and see what's going on in the comments section here.
Ah. All right, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was going to try to keep track of where I'm at. Does this backwards? No, there
Oh,
we go.
that's so cool.
So it's getting there, but I still got a long way to go. You know, thanks to the people that are on here. I think, like I said, I think Larkin's on here. Hey, what's up? You got a few people on here for names that I recognize. But these are your subscribers.
Definitely.
It's awesome, David. Now, here's a question. Do you put those comments up there for the live stream? Do you move them over there?
So when it comes to the StreamYard that I'm
Yeah.
using as of right now, the comments usually pop up on the side, on the right side of the screen whenever I go
Oh,
live. So if there's like a particular comment where somebody might ask a question or they just want to throw down just a random comment, I would just click on it with my finger and it would automatically pop up on the screen.
okay. Okay, got it. That makes sense.
What's going on, Ed?
Nice. Yeah, I'll talk more with you offline about this whole streaming process. I've never live streamed in YouTube like this before. I've done it only, I was saying earlier while you were gone, I've done it from my GoPro to my phone during races, because I race bikes all over the country. But I've never, this indoor filming thing is all kind of foreign to me, learning how to do it. So I'm learning from people like yourself, like, what kind of videos does he do that works? You know, what does everyone else do, and how can I spin that for my own? So, but it's getting there. So.
It's definitely a new experience for everybody.
Yeah. And now you stream every week, right?
Yes. And
Awesome.
I'm actually starting to rethink it just a little bit because as much as I love going live every week, I feel like that sometimes I might be busy doing something late in the evening where it might just take up just a little bit too much of my time. So
Mhm.
now I'm starting to think about should I continue to do this every week or maybe do it once every 2 weeks or maybe even monthly for that matter. So it's still kind of like a work in progress as far as I'm concerned.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't done it yet. So you're basically teaching me right now. One day I will grow up and be a big boy and be able to live stream.
Oh yeah, and speaking of which, I know you're a
Yeah.
really big Union Pacific 4014 fanatic. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice shirt. That's awesome. Look at
and
you coming to the show. Nice.
I
I don't
also have
have. Go ahead.
I also have the icing on the cake behind me too.
Oh, which one is that one? All right. Let me minimize the comments here. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So
Mine is
this is actually the Proto Sounds 3 semi-scale version from Rail King.
awesome. Awesome. So are you more MTH or Lionel or a mixture of both or what?
So actually you're probably the first person that kind of has asked me that question so far on my streams. But growing up, me and my dad had mostly had. I mean, we did have some of my dad's original Lionel post-war sets and freight cars and passenger cars, but we mostly had like, um, we just mostly had like a bunch of MTH locomotives and rolling stock when I was
Huh.
growing up. But the more I grew, the realized how much I loved Lionel much more because not only just because of the nostalgia, but because it's more traditional. You know, they they don't really make just toys. They also marketed towards the more realistic model railroader. And the more I started to learn about both Lionel and MTH, the more I wanted to become more and more involved in the hobby.
Yeah.
And I mostly run just a whole lot of, I mostly just run my Lionel locomotives today. And sometimes I think to myself, I feel like MTH is so underrated in my collection. And I do have a lot of MTH locomotives, don't get me wrong. But I'm more of a Lionel guy than an MTH guy, but I have
Okay.
nothing against any of the newer locomotives or rolling stock that both companies are coming out, especially MTH. I mean, I still love MTH deep down. Um, make no mistake, and no disrespect, but I'm mostly just more of a Lionel guy than an MTH guy.
Yeah, you know
And
what? It's go ahead. You
and I also do have a couple of other trains from a bunch of other different companies like K-Line or Williams or Atlas. I
Oh
also do
yeah.
have a Weaver boxcar. Well, I used to have the boxcar, but now I only have the box, oddly enough. I'm not really too sure whatever happened to the boxcar originally, but I'm still hoping to eventually find that car at some point and put it in the box that I have now.
I'm sure you can find it at York with the amount of stuff that I saw this weekend. Oh my God. And I didn't even get a chance to stop at the booths. I was just, you'll see it soon. Everyone's making comments on social media now. I was the guy walking with a 15-foot pole and a 360 camera up above my head, walking through the halls, trying to get like a nice. I was hoping for the people that can't be there to like have a nice view of what's going on. But
Like a
looking at
bird's
that,
eye view.
yeah, like nice bird's eye view, so people can kind of get a better idea versus like their home shows and stuff like that. Still working on it. Actually, it's back there on the editing screen right now, trying to figure out how to get 360 footage to work out well with YouTube. But there was a lot. There was a lot there. There was a ton of booths. I just didn't get the chance to look at them all. So I only 99% of what I have is Lionel. I think I have a couple rolling stock that's MTH, and there's really no other reason other than getting a controller. It took me forever to get the Cab 1L that I have. I got the remote pretty easy, but I couldn't get the base, and it just took forever. Um, so now I almost picked up the controller in the TIU at York this time. I had it in my hands, but it turns out it was a version 1 with and it didn't have the USB port. So if I'm going to buy one and if I'm going to spend $500 on the thing, I want it to have the USB port. So let's see, love your concept. Oh, thanks, I appreciate that. So I think I was the only one that did the daily concept or the daily videos, which worked out for my favor. But back to the story. So I was trying to get the controllers for MTH because my home store is Berwyn's Toys and Trains, and they do a huge amount of MTH customs. They're like Mr. Muffin, doing customs, but MTH,
Hmm.
and they're pretty good. They've taken really good care of me, getting me going in the hobby and things like that. But I think I have to wait till September when their new controller comes out, and that's pretty sad. In this day and age in the hobby, it's prohibitively, it prevents a lot of people from younger people from joining because you can't control the trains except for conventional, and that's even hard these days, unless you buy a really old controller.
Hmm.
So, but I'm working my way over to MTH. Maybe save a couple dollars buying their stuff versus Lionel. Don't get me wrong, I love Lionel. I have a couple dozen of their engines now, but I got to see what the MTH is all about. So,
Definitely. And
yep.
as a matter of fact, my first MTH train set was the Amtrak Genesis, which I still have with the four passenger cars and the locomotive. But the first ever Rail King set that my parents ever got me was the 611 that I mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah.
And I actually got that for my birthday when I was like 7 years old. And
Really?
my dad
Okay.
always confused the 611 with the Hudson locomotive, and I look at him like, Dad, the 611's not a Hudson; it's a northern locomotive. And
Yeah.
I knew that by heart because I always used to love watching the original I Love Toy Trains VHS tapes from 1993 to 2004.
Okay. Okay. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm gonna reach over here again, and one of the things that I've recently done is I had to buy a DVD player because I had to get
Oh boy,
videos.
I
I
love
did
those
my video on
DVDs.
the turbine. Yeah. So I had to buy DVDs, and I'm like, what? It's the only place to get some of this stuff is to
Love
buy it from
Pentrex.
there. Pentra, yeah, exactly, exactly. I'd never heard of them until this, and if you've seen my videos, I like to do a nice, like more of a research intro than anything. I was like, you're getting pizza delivered. Mine are doing the same thing downstairs. I just got food delivered as well. Um, but I like to do a nice historical intro to my videos, or at least some piece in there, because some of the videos that I would watch, a comment would be tossed out, hey, if you want to know more, just go ahead and Google it. And it kind of didn't sit right with me. I'm like, you know what? I'm here watching your video. I want to know a little bit more. So I figured the way to do that is to just make the videos myself. If that's what I'm looking for, then I try to provide as much history as I can. But that requires a lot of research because if you're wrong, you're going to know and you're going to find out in your comments. So,
Definitely. I've
yeah,
actually had that happen multiple times whenever I would do like a history video on a
yeah.
locomotive with somebody.
hmm And it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. I'm sure. Well, I made mistakes this weekend. I walked into, I think, Black Hall, and I'm looking at a standard gauge layout, and I'm videotaping the sign that says standard gauge, and I said G gauge. Like, it's literally on my video in front of my face, and I just misspoke, and I've gotten a lot of text messages about that. It's like, come on, you new guy, that's standard gauge. I'm like, I know. I was gonna put a sign up that says, correction, it says standard gauge, but it's already there. The sign they had in the hall is right there on the screen. So again, it happens, but my goal is to at least try to provide as accurate information as I possibly can. So that required me to buy a DVD player, because that's one of the sources I get is watching the old stuff. And this was pretty good. The turbine information is hard to find, but once you can get your hands on it, there's a lot of it. It just took me a while. So it's a lot of fun. And I'm learning so much just trying to produce correct videos for things that I had no idea in railroading. And that's a big part of my adventure that I didn't expect to take on once I switched over from cycling to train content creation. It's pretty cool.
It sure is. It is definitely, it really is an amazing experience, if I do say so myself. And
Yeah.
speaking of the turbine, I believe the last video I ever saw on that locomotive was on Eric Siegel's channel from a couple of years ago. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with him or not, but
Yeah. Yeah, everybody in model railroading probably knows Eric. I've been watching Eric's for about 13 years when I first picked it up,
same
and
here.
yeah, so he did a really good job. I started watching him when he was like knee deep into his bridge, that whatever you call it, the bridge that he has going across his room. Hey, thanks for the sub, whoever just tossed that out there.
That metal
Um,
bridge that he was like
yeah,
custom building.
yeah. So he was just getting that, and I forgot where I was going with that. Um, Oh, you said veranda videos. Yes. So I saw. So he did two. He did the Lionel and the MTH, and then his MTH video showed that there was I wouldn't say a defect, but there was an issue from the factory that had to be corrected. And he went and detailed it all out, showed people how to resolve it, which was wonderful. I'm happy he did that. And that was several years ago. But this weekend, so I just posted my veranda video just a few days ago, and then he posted a short of the same engine with a lot of the same details this weekend. I'm like, Eric, you watching my videos? What are you doing? You already did a video on your veranda. What are you doing tossing out another one? So it was pretty funny. Just kidding, of course. But as we're in the car playing the videos, that Jen looks over. She's like, "Isn't that your same engine that you just did a video on? Didn't you say all those things?" I'm like, "Yeah, but the facts are the facts. He didn't copy the facts from me. He copied it from history. We both got our information from the same place. A 10,000 horsepower engine is a 10,000 horsepower engine, whether I said it or somebody else. So, but it was still,
Sure
it was
is.
still, it was cute to see. So I would have liked to have seen him this weekend, but I guess he only goes to the fall show.
He
See,
does.
I haven't been to New York yet, but the impression I get, it's a train meet, not a train show. Yes, David, absolutely. Nobody told me that. I was not prepared for this to be a social event. I was expecting to find a bunch of trains that I was looking for that I can't find and see a bunch of manufacturers there. This was for me personally. I was wearing this shirt there, so I got a lot of attention because of that. I'm glad I did. Jen had a great idea with it. Um, because I had the shirt on, I was talking 90% of the time. And just meeting people, hanging out with people. I'm walking through it, and Larkin, you're on here. You did it. I was just about to walk out the door. Jen was in the car, and see, see, he's the one, and he's like, "Hey, big boy trains, come here." So there's like 10 of them standing over there. Hey, good to see you, buddy. There's like 10 of the content creators sitting over there, and they invite me over. Of course, I'm gonna say yes. And it was just very welcoming. It's one of my videos has the photo. I posted it a couple of times of all of us standing there, but it was just a good group of people. I really wanted to stay, but I had to get Jen back, and I have two dogs that we brought with on the trip, and one of them had a broken foot, same bone broken in his foot that Jen broke in her foot while carrying him. It's wild. Same foot, same bone. It's crazy. But it turns out we found out he had cancer right when we walked into the Orange Hall. So he's 14 years old, and we just wanted to get back and take care of him. So I had to walk away from the guys. It was unfortunate, but I had a good reason. So next year it's going to be a little bit different because our Airbnb is at a canine center, and they offer to take care of them while we're away, just in case. Want to make sure the dogs have quality care. But back to the social event. Let's see. I'm trying to think everybody I saw. Jason, JD Stux is currently messaging me right now. I don't know if he's messaging about the live stream. I don't want to read it out of respect for you. But yeah, so Jason was great. Chris was great. Chris Raines was great. Larkin, I just can't name them all. So after I got done seeing everybody, it was Sunday when I think a lot of the creators weren't. I didn't see any of them on Sunday, so that's the only time I really had a chance to like actually purchase anything or do much because a lot of people had already left or some booths were closing down because they sold everything. And the prices were pretty aggressive on Saturday, as expected. So I think I got $150 off the engine that's here, off the York price on that Sunday, which was good. But I'm looking around like, do I walk through her further or do we go to Strasbourg? And Jen's like, she's a trooper. She'd been there through the whole event, Thursday, Friday, and half a Saturday, and we ended up going to Strasbourg, and we did the railway museum, and then we she wanted to do the passenger car where there was a Broadway murder play, like murder mystery play on the car while you're going on the railway. It
Mhm.
was the coolest thing. So they give you like a drink and some hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. So she deserved that. I'm pushing her around in a wheelchair all through York, and not a complaint at all. Super supportive, meeting everybody, talking with people, entertaining people like they were her best friend. And honestly, she got more attention than I did. She looks a lot better than this face. So I probably got a bunch of subscribers because she was there, and I really appreciated it. But yeah, social events, not a train meet or not a train event, even though they had thousands and thousands of rolling stock and engines there.
They sure do. I mean, once you finally enter the doors of the York Hall, you feel like you're like in a huge model railway Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I tried to capture it on film, and it may be possible with people that have better videographer skills. I don't have those, so I got kind of like I got the Cliff Notes version when I walked in the door of each hall, and that was a goal because people were saying like, how does this compare to my home train show? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll try to put it on video as much as I can. So there's just too much. So
That there is.
all
And
right.
plus, once you start going to those shows, you realize that there's no going back afterwards.
What do you mean? Oh, going backwards, like not going to the shows, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
once you finally start going to those York shows, you feel like you never feel that you're the same again. You feel like you're really part of the community, like you said.
yes, that's huge. I'm already looking forward to seeing the faces that I met this weekend. I'm honestly looking forward to seeing them in the fall. The fall was kind of like not even on the radar. I figure we go to York once, I get a few videos, it might be cool. It would be entertaining. No, like I'm already setting up for the fall. I've talked to the Airbnb. She's welcomed us there. We can stay there. That's a little far. It's about 45 to 55 minutes where we were staying away, so that's hard. But if they can take care of the dogs, it's kind of worth it. But yeah, I'm already planning on going. Like Larkin, you going to be there? I know all the other guys are going to be there, but he has to fly in from Florida, and that's not very close. I've been considering getting one of those. Getting one of what? What are you considering getting? I don't know if the comments came up late or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually trying to double check here. I feel like I'm far behind what's going on in the comment section here.
I could switch over too and take a look too, also. I'm kind of learning how this rolls, but yeah, I got the comments up. Don't mind if I put my spectacles on to read the comments. I had perfect vision. I flew on Black Hawk helicopters for the Army, and
oh really?
Yeah, pretty cool. It was a great job. Loved it. And then awesome, perfect vision. My whole life, never had a problem. Never really had any issues. I turned 40, and I'm like, I think I might need glasses. And then 41, I'm like, all right, I got them. I'm just not going to wear them. Now that I'm 44, got to wear them. I can't see the comments on and I'm using an iPad Pro, so now I can read them. But yeah, it's let's see. I just did the video. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, happy Tuesday. Does it show how many people that you? So that's the thing I was going to ask. Like, so you're using this app, and it's streaming to YouTube. Do you see how many people are here viewing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I don't know how that works. So, like, you would look at the YouTube interface, and this links to it, right?
Yes. Well, you can actually link StreamYard to YouTube if you want to, or if you want to do something else like Instagram or Facebook, you can also do that as well.
So this will just blast it out to all of them?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. I'd never heard of it before this, and I watch a lot of YouTube. So I watch so much YouTube, I canceled regular TV. I don't even watch it. If I want to get my news, I can get it on YouTube from people that I prefer. I mean, I'm not telling everyone else to do that. There's nothing wrong with regular TV, but I just spend so much time in here watching like all the people that I watch. And I mean, if I want to see a documentary, it's on YouTube. It's great. I pay whatever the monthly cost is for no commercials. I don't even know what that is. What is it, like $15 or something?
I would think so. Yeah.
It's about $100 cheaper than my cable bill.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. So tell me about yourself. It looks like you got your layout behind you, right?
So this is actually two layouts that I have behind me, because originally I had both of these two tables set up in my basement from when me and my family were still living up in New Jersey for about like 25 years or so. Okay. So around 2020, I want to say late 2021, we finally moved out of there and we moved into our new home, which is down in Lewis, Delaware. And it took us, well, actually it took me about like, I want to say maybe 3.5 months to get the back layout all set up, and then another 3.5 months to get the other table set up back here behind me. But
Really?
like I
Okay.
said, everything you see in this room right now was all set up in my basement originally when me and my family were still living up in Jersey, like I mentioned.
Okay. Okay. So you have two full layouts then?
Mhm. Both of them
Nice.
together are like a 4x8 configuration, although I kind of consider this entire layout to be an 8x8.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. So as I told you over text message, I don't have a layout right now. So this train thing was not supposed to go the way it's going. It started out with just wanting to go with a train around the Christmas tree. Now I've been looking at this and planning on doing this for 13 years, like I said, but it's just prohibitively expensive. You got to buy track unless you've grown up with this, which I didn't. So you got to buy track, and then you have to buy power supply. Then you've got
Mm-hmm.
to try to find a controller, which took me forever to find a controller. And so you're a couple $1,000s in before you've even bought your first engine. It's like, well, okay, what's buying the engine is going to be like? Well, like buying a car. I figured that out. So that's a challenge. So now that I have the base, I was running everything up in one of our spare rooms upstairs. Like the front living room didn't have anything going on, so I ran a little loop of track, and then it ended up being 200 feet of track up there. Everyone loved it, but we had a water leak. One of the showers, the pipe started leaking inside the wall whenever you turn it on. So everything downstairs got messed up. Everything upstairs got messed up. The trains didn't, but the carpet in the whole house had to come out, which they just finished this week. So today they just finished the rest of the construction work, and then the carpet is finally finished, and we went a few shades darker. But in the middle of all that, I ended up just moving everything to the basement, which is a finished basement with nice carpet. And so the layout down there is basically, or the space is 24 foot by 14 foot. And I'm looking at different bench work. I was going to go with Miyane out of Maine, and it's a modular bench work where you just screw it together like IKEA furniture. But I got some reviews or some information at York that were not consistent with what I had been researching. So there's some people that don't like it. So I just need to validate what people are saying and if it's true, what I'm hearing from them. I don't want to go bashing anybody because what I've seen is all positive reviews, and everybody says nothing but good things. But at York, I got some different opinions, and I don't know if that's true or if it's a competitor that's just saying those kind of things. You never know, and I don't want to go blasting anybody. But
Neither
if
do I.
yeah, if I don't go with them, then I just need to decide what I'm going to do as far as building. But either way, we're only going to be here for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then I have to move it all. Um, we just don't have enough space here, which is shocking because all the neighbors think that this is too much house for two people. Um, but we need more space. So in the plans for the next place will be a larger basement so I could do a full layout. But at the moment, everything is just laying on carpet. And I have a huge 18-foot green screen at one end of the basement with all my lighting so I can do like all my videos. If you see my videos, I have some type of image on the background. And I like to do the green screen thing because no one else does it. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like my little shtick. I have the Mickey hand that I point with everything with, and then the green screen, and then I like to do history. But yeah, it's all on the carpet. So not really running any trains lately, except for at my local club, the Chicagoland Lion-O Railroad Club. If you're ever in Chicago, if anybody's here, if you want to go see that, just hit me up, and I'm a member there, and I can just take you on a Saturday between 8 and 3, and you could see what a multi-million-dollar layout looks like, where you can just bring whatever trains you want and run them. The club doesn't have any trains. It's just a layout with like 16 different loops and 16 people, or I think it's 16, or I think it's 16. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 16 people can be running at once. It's wild. Like I walked in there just like this is absolutely amazing. But that's where I'm doing my videos now until I get my layout up. So let's see. I see a comment there. I see Mr. Steve's Trains has. What's that one? Oh, there it is. Mr. Steve's Trains has a carpet layout. Is that me or is that actually Mr. Steve's Trains? Because if that's a person and he has the same name as me, I need to look them up right now. Mr. Steve's Trains.
Yeah, I think that might be the other Steve that just commented.
Oh, is it really? Okay, I couldn't see who it
Yeah.
was. Okay.
Now, even though that the layout that I now even though that both the layouts that I have in our new house, even though I don't really have as much space like I did in my old basement, what I really like about my room up here is that you get much more lighting versus what I used to get when, you know, me and my family had our old house originally.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's lighting is such a massive, massive issue. Um, I've learned that with the whole YouTube thing. You know, I bought a couple studio lights and some diffusers and things like that. But lighting is I'm looking for a photo right now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with my camera, but um, I have this huge setup. I think I have 11 lights now, which is just crazy. And it's still not enough lights. If you watch my videos, you'll see areas in there where like the green screen kind of fades in and out, or like my hair is green on my last thumbnail where it's showing my face. Um, it's a big deal. Now I'm in a basement, so I no longer have like regular ambient lighting to use. So there's a huge disadvantage there, and that's an advantage that you have where you're at now, and that's why that was smart. I completely agree. I can't find the video or the image, but I had a photo downstairs in the basement, and it shows just how crazy it is there. I think I'll look for another second and then I'll give up. So do you supply lighting above hand or like on the ceiling, or is it all like outside lighting?
Of how do you
Your
mean? Like,
your layout, like how are you providing lighting? Oh, here we go. So this is can you guys see this? So that's all the lighting in front of my green screen.
mhm.
There's 11 lights. Some of those things are 2.5 feet wide. Like, and then there's the actual picture of the green screen. Like, you can see the track on the ground a little bit, but that's
Oh
what I
yeah,
have
I
to
see
do.
it. Yeah.
That's what I have to do for lighting. Like, it's crazy. I kept adding more and adding more and adding more, and now it's like I can film with it. But man, it's tough because the green screen, if it's shadowed in any area, then it totally disappears. Then you see the green in the background. I'm like, ah. So again, huge. It's a lot of. It's a huge learning curve for me, but it's an adventure along the way. So now I got all this lighting. Now I have to keep making videos because I invested so much in it.
Always got to keep going.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, okay.
getting back to the
Oh,
lighting
nice.
real quick. It's only just powered by this one LED light that's in my ceiling fan here.
Lucky. That's huge. See, I'm going to do the math here. I, I got to calculate this out. So uh, I'm using 1,375 watts to light that basement. 13. I gotta remember to turn this stuff down just so I don't have an electric bill that's through the roof if I forget the lights on.
Man, you're even much better in the math than I am.
Oh no, I have my phone.
Oh,
So I actually have
that's
three
funny.
phones, three phones sitting here, and plus the tablet because I broke my folding phone in the last event. I didn't break it. The screen protector came off, and it's under warranty. They're supposed to change it for free, but there was more damage, and so I got an upgrade to the newest one for free. So I got something else to film trains with.
Very cool.
Oh, oh.
So
Sorry, I
guys,
just
I actually have to step out for just a moment, but we're going to go ahead and keep the stream going. I'm actually going to let Steve take the lead just for a few minutes, so that way I can go ahead and do what I have to do and then jump right back on. So I'll be right
yeah.
back in just a few minutes.
Real quick, how many people are watching in the stream? What's the total? Do you see the number?
So far, it keeps jumping back between 9 and 10 people, so we should be good.
Okay.
We should be
Awesome.
good for like another 2 hours or so.
Okay, got it. So let's see, 1,300 watts consumed or 1,300 watts output. Well, so that would be consumed. So that's a great question. So the 1,300 watts is basically just going off the ratings of some of my bulbs are LED bulbs that are 80 watts and some of them are 125 watts. When I kept buying new lights, they were all 80 watts. So I figured I'll upgrade. I'll start going with 125 watt fixtures and diffusers. And these are all purpose-built lights. They're all, I'm trying to find out where it is. So you can kind of see the difference in the color temperature. Actually, maybe not on camera. But the ones on the floor and the larger built frames are 125 watts. And then the other ones are 80 watts, and that's just what they're rated for on the bulb. But that's a good question. So see, 9 is what you see. Oh, see, 1, 2. Oh, you know what? That's because behind this one right here, there's lights behind this one that you can't see that are pointing. They're pointing to the side of the item. So if I'm holding an item, that stuff is in the front. Actually, I guess on this side, it's pointing this way, and there's ones from the side that are so I get side lighting. The goal is to not get 2 hours. It's all on me. The goal is to not get any shadows, and that's one of the things that I get a lot of comments on, is not having shadows and decent lighting. And I really appreciate that. But oh, he didn't go on mute. Hey, Mike, you're not on mute. If you can hear me. Um, but yeah, oh, that's distracting. Um, Not having shadows and having quality lighting really takes, one of these videos that I put up that's, 15 minutes, or the 30-minute ones especially like my 30-minute big boy video and my 30-minute veranda video both took about 10 days of filming. Um, I have a full-time job. I work for engineering for T-Mobile, and then I have a side job in addition to that, where I work medical command for major events around the country. Like I was just in Texas 2 weeks ago for the eclipse, because they had 1.2 million people come into town. So I got called down to run medical operations in case there was anything that went off, and it did. It got serious. I think we only had one fatality, but that's more than we should have. But anyways, so between those two jobs and then filming for YouTube, it takes a long time. Like I generally dedicate a lot of Saturdays. I'll dedicate in full 8 hours. Some Sundays I'll do a full 8 hours, and then 2 to 4 hours a day throughout the week.
The detail on these things are amazing.
Oh, you're not on mute, Mike. We can hear you. So,
Hold on 1 second.
all right, cool. I heard my own voice there. That's why. But yeah, so it takes a good amount of filming amount of time for both the research and the filming. Coming up with the different shots. Like I bought this little car that rides with my camera on it next to the train, and that's when I do a lot of my slow shots while I'm doing unboxings. And I'll replay that image on the green screen behind the unboxing, because we all know that unboxings, while some parts of unboxings can be interesting, as a whole they're kind of boring a little bit, right? So in an effort to show what the unboxing is while still keeping it entertaining, I like to have something going on the green screen in the background, so that it's not just completely boring. And then my first couple of videos, which are not great, I was just kind of like winging it. I was either reading off an iPad or just trying to talk while I was doing the unboxings. And me speaking like that is not very good. At least I haven't had any complaints, but I don't enjoy it. So if I can't watch my own videos, that's not a good thing. So I switched over to where now I do a historical voiceover during the unboxings, so that not only you can have a visual representation on the top half of what you were watching, the bottom half would be, or the bottom half in the middle would be the unboxing part, and then the historical voiceover while it's going. I'm going to try that for a while and see how it goes. So far it seems like it's pretty successful. I think was it the big boy? I think the big boy might be the first time I did that. And that's at like 5,000 views for a new creator. I think that's pretty good. And then Veranda did okay, but there was a lot of other traffic that day and those couple days on YouTube with the rail scene. It was a bad time to upload. I should have uploaded that like a week prior, but I ran into a lot of challenges. Like I said, I had to go to, I had to do a lot of traveling, things like that. So, but either way, those are my favorite two engines. So in my research, I found a video of them double-headed with the Veranda turbine in front of a big boy. And I thought that was fantastic, because that's my favorite steam engine and my favorite non-steam engine. And then I built basically the big boy superset behind that, ordering pieces individually. It's been pointed out it's not the big boy superset because it's the wrong boxcar. I'm using a hobo boxcar because I like that one. And then I'm using last year's, which one is it? Last year's cattle cars. But I like the red better than I like the yellow, even though it's pig noises versus sheep noises. Either way, it's what worked for me. To me, it's equivalent to the big boy superset. To everyone else, it might not be, and that's okay. But I basically did show it, like it can be done still using the Vision Line items. But yeah, to have a lash up with my two favorite engines is wonderful. I went to my local club and a few people called it out, like, "What are you doing? The big boy doesn't need any help." I'm like, "Well, I expected that." So I had the image on my iPad and I just showed people like this is prototypical. Like this is how they ran quite a bit through Utah. Um, and there's several reasons for that. The big boy is very capable, but when it comes to power and torque, the electric driven motors have a lot of their power or a lot of their torque down at low speeds to get these concepts going. And the steam engines have a lot of their like the most of their power up at speed. And I didn't know that. I've learned this in the middle of all of this research, and it kept coming up. So running a steam engine with a diesel is kind of like the best of both worlds because the diesel can help get it going. And then once it's at speed, the steam engine kind of takes over and does the rest of the work at speed because that's where it's more efficient, it has more power. And that was wonderful. So I have a couple photos posted on social media, and I think they're also posted on the community page, also on Patreon. But I posted in a few spots where I just recently bought a huge Pelican case to transport that whole lash up with the big boy and the tender, the veranda and the tender, and then all of the cattle cars, all of the reefer cars, the box car, and then the Vision Line caboose that similar to the one that I gave away. If you guys have seen my channel, that was the first giveaway. I gave away a Vision Line caboose to Frank, and I think it's Twisted MacGyver's Trains. He was the lucky winner of that one, and he seemed pretty darn excited. So that was rewarding for me personally. I did the whole Big Boy series as a lead up to the giveaway. Kind of give and take. I'll give back, a $300 caboose, and then in exchange, I get a bunch of subscribers that are interested in listening. I think I got 200, which is amazing. And I only had 3 people unsubscribe after they didn't get it, which is even better. The fact that everybody stayed is a good thing. But it worked out really well for me. So as my channel grows, that was really enjoyable to give something away and to see the enjoyment. I'm going to do quite a few of those. But the first part is to get monetized on YouTube. My channel's not. I had one of the owners of a company that was at York had told me to join their affiliate program, or at least told me to email in so that I can be a part of the affiliate program. And when I did, the person in charge of the program didn't accept it, which is totally fine. There was a few reasons why it didn't get accepted, and I agree with them. What was not mentioned was the size of my channel. Again, I only have this many subscribers, so I don't have a lot. And when you're going against RBP that has 58,000, and JD Stucks is 17,000, things like that, it makes sense. It was probably the most polite and professional rejection I've ever received in my entire life, and it's smart because I want to work with this company, whether it takes me a year or whatever. It's a really good company. I'm not going to mention their names yet, but it's one that I want to be a part of. And even though I got rejected, it's all for good reasons, and it gives me the motivation to try to work my way up to it. Let's see. You'll have more after this. Let's see. Oh, Dave, thanks. If you're saying I'll have more offers or more opportunities after this, if that's what you're referring to, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's kind of like I told my girlfriend, who, like I said, broke her foot and was in a wheelchair through all of York. I'm in this for the long haul. This is, if 80% of my viewership is over the age of 65 and 99% of my viewers are older than me, and I'm 44, that tells me that there's a lot of trains in my future. If I'm 44 and that many people are over 65 still watching YouTube, then and then I got John Brady in my video being the most energetic and welcoming person to a YouTuber ever. If you watch, I think it's video 1, that guy's great. I don't know how John Brady is, but the guy's amazing. That is an individual that gets it. He understands that YouTubers bring a lot to the community. He understands if you just be a nice, polite, welcoming, energetic guy, then it makes people want to be around you. And he's running a business. He's selling trains, expensive trains, and people feel comfortable doing it. It's exciting versus like someone that's a little bit more crabby or upset or not a no. Let me put a disclaimer: not on having a bad day. I don't mean we all have bad days. We all have a crabby day. You know, we all have things happen in our lives, whether it be whatever, medical or financial or just whatever happens. I don't mean that. I mean people that are just kind of always like that. Um, we've all seen them. It's like, it's like I don't really feel comfortable going over there. It's like, do I feel comfortable spending $3,000 on an engine and giving this person my money? Can I trust them? You just don't know. It puts you kind of at ease. And oh, thanks. If you subscribe to me, I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, John Brady gets it. He was wonderful. There was more in my video that where me and him talked for a good amount of time, and I wanted to put it in there, but there was a separate from us, there was some less desirable conversation that was going on by kind of the people that I'm referring to. So I couldn't put that in the video, although I really wish I could. I'm working with DaVinci Resolve, and I believe there's a new update. Either I have it or it's in beta to where you can start isolating out some of the voices. And I'd love to do that sometime to isolate out some of these conversations that were happening while I was talking to John, because it really was a great, hey, what's up? Hey, I just met you this weekend. That's awesome. Um, yeah, another guy that I've watched on YouTube that just happened to pop up in front of me out of nowhere while I'm talking to Larkin. And I got your stickers, which is pretty cool. I posted you guys your photos in my video. But back to the story. So while I was talking to John Brady, epic conversation. The man is wonderful. Whether you're for his business or other people. See, I don't give my money to people that don't laugh. Yeah, you get it. You get it. It's not like you want those other people to suffer. It's just comfort. So I'm going to continue to work on that as I get better with the software and see if I can isolate out different voices or maybe the ones that are muffled. And then I'll play that for you guys. I'll make a video, and I don't know if I'll make a short or I'll showcase it, something. But you guys have to hear what he has to say. Not only just about us YouTubers, but about the customers and the younger community. This is an older individual that is just focused and set on bringing in the younger community into trains. Like everybody wants the younger community, they want their money, but no, he wants the experience. He wants to be able to pass these things on and have that close the generational gap, I guess, or at least I don't even know if it's a gap. It's just kind of dropping off. So we were talking about like magazines, and some of the younger generation doesn't read. They don't read magazines. I do, but I'm 44. Someone that's in their 20s, like Mike, he could speak to that. I don't know if these guys read magazines or O-Gauge Railroading or all the different ones where people are advertising, but they do watch YouTube. They watch TikTok and they watch all these other things. So he had the youngest, what I believe, and I could be wrong. I believe he had the youngest set of employees at York, welcoming in the younger crowd. And he also had them doing like the photos and the videos, and they're managing the Facebook and the TikTok and all the different social media platforms, because he just understands like that's where it's at. And expensive microphones, because I didn't have those with last time. And actually, I had them with. Oh, I didn't have the lav mics. That's what it was. I didn't have these microphones. I just had the modules, and I got a puppy that's here. Let's see if I can get around. Do you guys want to see a puppy? She's a bit more than just a puppy. Come on. Oh, there's a train down there. So, let's see if I can get up. All right. So this is my little pit bull Riley. So she's from a not train related, but everyone likes a good dog. Thanks, appreciate that. Riley has a lot of scars on her if you could see them. She's from a dog fighting ring. So she was in Oklahoma, and she wouldn't fight, so they ended up using her as a bait dog for quite a bit. And then when she was all used up and basically wouldn't fight him at all, they tied her to a tree and or chained her to a tree and left her just out there to pass away. So somebody found her and contacted animal control, and they rescued her, and then they found out where she belonged, and they did a raid on the house and found 10 other dogs. So she was shipped up to here in the Chicagoland area, and I went to the Humane Society looking for a different dog, and I heard this one back there that didn't know how to bark. She had no idea how to bark. She sounded awful, and I just asked to pet her, and now she's here, and it's been a long road to get her where she's at right now. But she's listened to my 14-year-old corgi, and he kind of runs the house, and she takes guidance from him. So she's happy. Everyone's happy, and she's sitting on my office chair right now, which is crazy. So Mike, your camera turned on. It looks like you may have the wrong camera turned on. You're facing the.
Hey, I see a puppy.
There you go. All right, there we got the audio. Oh, you heard somebody, and now she's out of here.
I hope I didn't scare her off.
No, you didn't. You didn't. So she's actually on the bed next to me. But yeah, this went from trains to animal shelter. So
Two of the best hobbies in the world.
yeah. So I couldn't see some of the comments there. Stickerfied. I like it. You had some great stickers. I don't know if you designed the stickers. We're talking about Datafied. He's got the stickers that say three was. So I got the 3 rails for dads, which was really cool to meet you guys. I think I met 3 of the dads instead, not all 4. And then secondhand overland, which is you kind of coined that term, which is pretty cool. You don't buy anything new, or at least you haven't bought it. The videos that I've seen, you haven't bought anything new, and you still have an epic railroad setup, and you're paying a lot less than all the rest of us, which your stuff is probably nicer. If you watch my videos with like my big boy and all the problems that I've had, your stuff is probably nicer than what I have when I paid retail. Or close
I
to
actually have a couple of the Datafied stickers on my layout here.
Look at that. That's awesome. This is great. So, yeah, I think that's absolutely awesome. I had some business cards made. Do I have one of them? I don't have any on me. So I thought it would be good because my channel has the darn hyphen after it. So if you don't search with the hyphen, all you get is 4014s, 4012s. You just get big boy engines. So getting people on YouTube to find my channel is incredibly difficult. My family can't even find the darn thing. They're like, hey, we searched big boy trains and we can't find it. So I had business cards made with a barcode. Let's see. So they're getting around. Oh, glad you guys enjoy them. Oh, yeah, I absolutely enjoy them. Yeah, and you got my card. Good. I have to have people scan the barcode or else they can't find my channel. Even though my channel is written on there, you have to type in, the youtube.com, whatever, @bigboytrains hyphen, or else you won't find it. So I'm missing out on views. But yeah, I passed out. I bought 500 cards on Vistaprint for $20. I went on their site and it was a 40% off code. And on the back of it, there's a barcode for Facebook. No, it wasn't Facebook. Facebook was a different card. Oh no, it was YouTube, Instagram, I think Facebook, and then Patreon. I had to create a Patreon for it, and that worked out. I don't have any Patreon subscribers, but I had to create a barcode for the darn thing, so I might as well create a Patreon channel, and it worked out. So welcome back. Hope you had a great time.
Yeah, it was. I actually had to do a couple of things downstairs, and I was also trying to make sure to inform everybody that we were having some issues with the live stream earlier. So I sent them a different link to the StreamYard as of right now. So that way they're not getting confused with the old link that I sent them.
Oh, okay. Got it. So let's see. Great idea. I did something similar with my channel, but sorry, I got my iPad is sitting on a post. So if I move my iPad, you see the post right here. So I'm trying to read the comments around there. There we go. That makes it easier to see. Let's see what you're saying about the name. That's kind of a popular term. Yeah, I figured since I'm 6'4" and currently 240 pounds. Normally I'm 200 pounds, but recent shoulder surgery and I haven't raced my bike since October. But I'm 6'4" and I like the big boy. It was one of the first trains that I've actually touched in person when they came to Chicago. And I'm like, that's got to be it. Big boy trains, 2 separate meanings. And it didn't seem like anybody had that. Well, I was wrong. Because hey, another sub, thanks. Somebody has it on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So that's why all the names are slightly different. I have like big boy underscore trains on Instagram, and then I got the hyphen on YouTube, and then Facebook is a whole other animal. It took me 2 days to get logged into my Facebook recently. So can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just realized the dog pulled my microphone off, and I'm sitting on it the entire time. So yeah, welcome back, Mike.
Glad to be here.
We were just talking about, I mentioned 20-year-olds. Do you subscribe to any of the magazines like O-Gauge Railroading or anything like that? Do you get like paper copies of anything? Or you being a younger generation, are you more digital, like using your phone and iPad and stuff?
I still get their magazines in the mail. Yes. I'm actually a subscriber of not only just Classic Toy Trains magazine, but also Classic Trains magazine as well. So I get two different types of those, issues monthly.
So I tried to sign up for these, and I think there's like one page where there's like 6 of them. I think both of those are on like one web page, like Klombach or something like that. Or
Yes.
I couldn't figure out how to make it work. I signed up for something. I might have signed up for the same thing twice, but the only magazine that I've gotten out of all the things I signed up for is O-Gauge Railroading. I have not seen a single one, and I tried to sign up for everything before 2024. So if you notice, like, people that look at my YouTube channel for this, you were going to say something?
Now it's actually pretty funny that you mentioned that you brought up O-Gauge Railroader, because
Yeah.
I tried subscribing to the channel multiple times, and for whatever reason I can't really seem to get in, like, at all. Either they don't really want my either they already have my email already, or maybe they just don't really what's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe a technical issue or something?
Something like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like I have much more luck with Classic Toy Trains than O-Gauge Railroader. I mean, I still love their magazines, but I
Yeah.
feel like as far as a little bit more quality-wise type of website, I think Classic Toy Trains is definitely the way to go. At least for me, of course.
Yeah, I'm having the exact opposite problem because I've tried to sign up for it. O-Gauge Railroading was easy. I'm just in there and I can go online, I could look at everything. It was just pretty seamless. There was one thing I had to do, and I had to click like an authentication in the email and then go back. That was kind of a pain, but they explained it and I picked up on it. The other ones, I'd like to get their magazines, especially since I see people like RBP in one of the magazines. I'm seeing these people like Jason's, JD Stucks, his layout was in one of them. So, these are people that I follow, so I want to see their stuff. And
That's cool.
honestly, yeah, one day I'd hope to have a decent enough layout to where maybe I would get in there, obviously several years down the road, because I don't have a layout right now. I have the floor. But that's something to aspire to be a part of. But I can't make it work. I'm going to keep trying, but it's generally like my thing. I like getting all the publications, and then like it comes in, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Let me see what's new or whatever. Yeah, I'm still working on it. Just like with MTH, I have everything lying out, so I'm still learning MTH. And I heard that they didn't have a catalog. I'm like, all right, so how do I find out what they're selling? Like, oh, you have to get it from your email. I'm like, what? Like, so they have to email me everything that they're selling? Like, no, it just comes out periodically. I still can't wrap my head around that. Like, how do I see what lineup is out there and what they're selling? I don't know if you got that answer, but I'm trying. Unless I go to a train show, I have no idea what the hell they're selling, or what the heck they're selling.
Well, that's actually the interesting part of it, because MTH doesn't, like you said, they used to make catalogs a lot here and there, but now that they're owned by Atlas, they kind of mentioned at one of the shows from last year that making catalogs today is very expensive. So they don't really have the type of money to do that as of right now. So
Okay.
if you ever want to keep up with anything MTH related or even Atlas related, you would have to subscribe to their website or go follow them on other types of social media like Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Got it. Let me just send a message real quick. So I have to say,
Haven't heard of GFW trains after father and son up near you in Chicagoland?
no, I actually haven't. I will tell you, nearly every person I met at York asked me to reach out to Artemis, which I did. I knew of the web or the YouTube channel, which is not very active, and then I knew a little bit about the podcast that they have. It's like miniature railroading, I think it is. I could be wrong. Um, but I knew of this person, but yeah, everybody that I met, nearly everybody I met at York said, reach out to Artemis. So I did, and then got an immediate response, and we're going to meet up here eventually, bring them down to my club's railroad, and then maybe do like, a podcast with them or whatever. That'd be cool. But again, it goes back to the networking. It's a meetup and not a train show.
It sure is.
So, but yeah, so on that note, you started to say you'll be there next year. Is it next spring or next fall?
Next fall. Because when it comes to this year, me and my family have got a couple of other things that need to be worked out. So me and my dad are not going to be able to make it to the October show this year, unfortunately. But next year, we most definitely will. So when that eventually does happen, I'll definitely reach out to you. Maybe we can try to work something out. Maybe we can have like lunch with each other or something, or explore, maybe walk around some of the orange halls and, do our thing.
Yeah. So I went to this not knowing anybody. I mean, I know their faces, I know their channels, I know things like that.
Mhm.
And then okay, correction. Berwyn's Toys and Trains, I know those guys really well, and I knew that the owner there, Tom, he was there, and he's actually now my neighbor. He lives like less than a quarter mile away from my house.
Really?
So he literally just moved like down the street, which is really cool. But his wife was there. I haven't met her, so it was great. I was able to park Jen in her wheelchair at their booth, and they hit it off, which is fantastic. They're gonna be hanging out and everything, and so I brought this up. There's a lot of, let's see, hello. There's a lot of like other halves or spouses that you don't want to come out, or they're like, hey, I don't want to sit and do the train thing all the time. Some people do. It's fine. Either way, it's fine. But I just mentioned it to several of the YouTubers and several of the vendors or the stores. Hey, like I asked Kelly, Tom's wife, like, what do you think about, like, while the guys are doing the train stuff, especially on one of the earlier, busier days, we're doing our train stuff, we're doing filming, we're networking, and all the other halves get together and do like a winery or lunch or whatever, and they all do their thing, and then people are just like, really? I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll coordinate it." They're like, yeah, my wife would totally come if I did that. I'm like, why have they not been doing this for the last 30 years? Nobody wanted to set it up. So I brought it up to everybody, and not a single person said it was a bad idea. They all seemed super excited. And then Caleb, his girlfriend, was there. I think she just turned 21 today or something. And she was glowing, like, oh my God, that'd be great, because I don't think she was enjoying the trains. And that's fine. It's our thing. If you're not into trains, you're not into trains. But she's still super supportive of him,
Mhm.
being there and walking around and stuff. Hey, like, hey, if you're going to be that supportive, you might as well come out and do something that's enjoyable for you. And so I think maybe for the fall show, try to get it going, see, test it out, pick some nice places for them to do things. And then I'm trying not to like toss out anything stereotypical, because a lot of people said, yeah, send them shopping. I'm like, I don't want to say all women just want to go shopping, or I don't want to say anything derogatory, because that's not what I think.
Hmm.
But if that's what they chose to do, I'll put those options on the list, and let everybody pick what they want to do, and kind of, have them collaborate ahead of time, and maybe it'll be a more enjoyable experience for everybody. So I can tell you, I know Jen was being a trooper, but there was times when she's parked in her wheelchair, unable to walk around, and that was not the most enjoyable experience. She was wonderful, absolutely supportive the entire time. But if I was parked in that wheelchair at an event that I didn't want to be at, I would have been going out of my mind. We don't want to do that for people. The more
No, we don't.
enjoyable it is for the entire family, the entire group, as long as somebody's getting some type of enjoyment, something for them to look forward to, then it's just better for everybody. And I think that's what we need to focus on going forward. Whether it be a family member or a spouse, or some people will be there with their mom or their adult children, because a lot of these people are over 65, so their kids are are my age. Maybe they're in that group. So like I said, for our community, I'm going to set that up and see if it takes off. It could flop. It could end miserably, but at least we tried it, right?
That is true.
So
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
yeah. And then we'll have plenty of time to get it right before you get there next fall.
Now I just got to make sure that my dad is a little bit more patient this time around, because sometimes when we go to those shows, he's more the guy that wants to get around almost every little bit of those halls while we're over there. Meanwhile, I'm more the opposite. I like the sociable aspect a little more. I mean, I still love collecting trains, but like you said, just like you had with your first experience at York, I'm the exact same way. I just like to go around and socializing and hanging out with a lot of the people that I follow, as well as the people that follow me as well. Like you said, with Chris from RBP and Chris from Chris Trains and Things, and Jason from Jason's channel, and of course Ben, who unfortunately is not really too sure if he might be going to York or not, but I did hear him say if he does go, it might be a little bit unexpected. So if he does go, I'd be really surprised if he did.
Okay. Yeah, I actually just some of the people in the stream just sent me this link. This might be where some of your viewership went because Ben is streaming right now and he's got RBP on his stream.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was today.
Yeah, he
So,
usually does a Train Talk Tuesday live stream on Instagram every Tuesday around 8 o'clock, 8:30, somewhere around there. Sometimes
oh, yeah.
most of the time I show up to his live streams. Other times I'm kind of occupied with something else. So it's kind of like an on and off type of situation that I might jump in and see how he's doing.
Are his recorded or is it just live only?
Mostly just live when he starts off, but after he finishes his videos, then the whole thing will upload to his Instagram account. So that way you can watch the whole thing from start to finish all over again.
Nice. Awesome. Do you do the same thing for yours or do you just do them live?
I mostly just stick with YouTube because most of the time when I live stream on Instagram, I feel like I don't really have a whole lot of luck when it comes to people coming in and watching me. I mean, sometimes when I live stream on Instagram, I mostly get like one or two people, and then other times a couple of people might just jump in and wave hi or say hello, and then they will log off immediately. I feel like the Instagram community for me is kind of weird when it comes to the live stream type of events, but I feel like I have a much more better luck when it comes to live streaming here on YouTube instead.
Okay. Okay. I have so my Instagram experience is very different than just about everybody else. So I've used it a lot for sponsorships and for my cycling stuff altogether, but it wasn't based off of having large amounts of subscribers. I don't even know how many subscribers or followers I have over on Instagram because it wasn't used for that. It's literally used for me to upload content for the manufacturers or for the companies to take that content whenever they want and use it on their Facebook or their Instagram or wherever they want to use it. So that's literally what my Instagram was there for. It was like a storage bank for people to use images of me on whatever they were trying to sell at that particular time. So it was very successful. I got a lot of sponsorships, not having to pay for clothing or cycling or for bikes or whatever for the whole thing, or for while cycling, even races and things like that. But now that I switched over to this, those numbers matter, like a big deal. Like your subscriber count matters, your followers matter, and that's all new for me. So it's kind of a big deal. I'm not new to social media. What is it? I can't. Is it Cincy Nation? Okay. But yeah, it's all new for me. It's a lot for me to learn, and I'm getting there slowly but surely. So I'm looking at the rest of these here.
Since my retirement, I have tons of time to grow my HO scale layout. Love trains. It's great to see live train podcasts any time of the week.
Nice. Yeah, I was just at physical therapy for my shoulder, and my physical therapist is like, hey, I have a family member that just passed away. They got an entire house full of trains. You got any idea where to sell it? Like, I guess you don't want it. Like, you don't know anybody that wants it. And they said it's all HO scale. So we have a local fairgrounds here, DuPage County Fairgrounds, where they have the world's greatest train show. The same people that put the show on in Indianapolis, they do a monthly show here. So I sent them over there. And I'm like, if you got anything decent that's in good shape, I don't know if I think Trains with a Z does HO scale as well. I know they don't do O scale or O gauge.
They do multiple gauges. I mean, on their website, technically speaking.
Okay, yeah, I haven't looked at because I'm not into HO. I never looked at that part. But no, this is good to know.
Mhm.
But either way, I pointed them their direction. They've been very kind to me as far as just welcoming to the community and things like that. I had some
Me
good
as well.
Yeah, I've been had some good conversations with Scott and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So what's next?
That's
My
the big.
screen,
That's always the big question you got to ask yourself almost every day.
yeah, my screen's all turned around behind me, so I have less of a halo. I don't know why this is so blurry. Like yours is pretty crisp. I thought the screen or the camera on the iPad Pro would be pretty good, but this is the first time I've used it. I'm kind of disappointed.
Hmm.
So, trained people will be trained people no matter who they are. It's nice to see someplace where supporters will enjoy themselves. Yeah, York.
York is
I didn't,
always number one.
I didn't see anybody that was crabby, in a bad mood, or just any of those things. Everybody was just happy to be at York. It was wild, and I got a ton of footage. Like I said, soon, whenever I can figure out how to get my 360 footage uploaded to YouTube to actually be 360 to where you can move it. I'm having some challenges there. Um, you'll see when you spin the cameras around through the three halls I recorded Orange Hall, Blue Hall, and Silver Hall. Everyone's happy. It's fantastic. Like it's a great place to be. You want some therapy? Go to York. Just set that up every month. It's fine.
I was also really surprised that you mentioned that they decided to change the rules a little bit for this year. Like I remember, I
Yeah.
was talking to Dackman's Trains a little while back, and he told me that you're only allowed to record videos in the Orange Hall, the Black Hall, and the Purple Hall. But it really took me by surprise when he told me that you did almost all the halls were that you were exploring while you were at the facility.
Yeah, so on that note, I had a huge miss because there was a veranda hall too, and I never even went in there. It was on the map, and it's in really small writing. And it's all white, and everything else was named a color. So that's how I missed it. But yeah, any hall that had a color, I did videotape in. But you mentioned Dackman. It's actually on his. He made a video about it like 2 days before York, talking about how they loosened the rules quite a bit. So they now are allowing video in all of the halls with one caveat that matters a great deal. If a vendor asks not to be recorded, then we have to respect that,
Mhm.
which absolutely, by all means, absolutely. And I did a lot of that, and not a single person that I asked was against recording. They all wanted to be a part of it. I did have some people to where when I brought it up, I kind of saw their face, cringe a little bit, but I just led with, in those situations, like, hey, I'm not going to have any audio. I'm just going to play music over it. So if you're worried about your voice, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
as long as you don't hear me talking or giving prices out or talking about people's credit cards numbers, then they're fine with it. And absolutely, like I would want the same thing. I wouldn't want to be giving someone my credit card number manually if the scanner's not working, and or any personal information. Um, absolutely. So anytime I noticed that in my video or it was a risk or they specifically asked for it, then I just kind of cranked the music up a couple notches and
Mhm.
brought down the audio to where you didn't have to worry about it. And it seemed to work. Everybody, I've had not a single negative comment, which I'm very grateful for. It's been nothing but great positive responses to all the videos, which is it's really really comforting and motivating for that.
That's also what you really want, because sometimes if you have like a big show like that, you don't really want to keep everything to yourself without having anybody else online seeing what the experience is actually like for themselves to look at.
Yeah, this day and age, the only way you're going to get the younger crowd in is if their parents were really into it and brought them there younger, or if they see it on their phone. I personally didn't have my father passed away at a very young age, so my only train set was when I was young, and I had it for about 2 days. And then I had a fold one of the four or three is it 3 foot by 3 foot or 4 foot by 4 foot folding tables, and just large enough for the HO scale circle to fit on there, and the engine ran right off and broke. So I had a paper route, and I saved up enough money to buy another engine, and then by then my track was all destroyed by my siblings, and I wasn't able to run it. So since then, I've been wanting to get back into this, and like I said, about 13 years ago, I made the decision I'm going to get back into it, just piece by piece until I can run things, and um, and I finally did. But yeah, I didn't even hear of York until I started my channel. Like I didn't even know this existed until I'm posting things on YouTube and people are asking me if I'm going to be at York, and I'm like, well, what's York? how did I not know this for the last 40 years? Like, this is an amazing thing. And a lot of the older people were, this is the only negative thing that I experienced. A lot of the older people like, well, you should have seen it, 10 years ago or 12 years ago. And then somebody that wasn't even at York, he was at Strasbourg, is like, there's only 18,000 people there. I'm not going there. I'm like, 18,000 people? That's more people than I have in my house. If it was only 18,000 people, that meant there was room to walk down the aisles. I would not want to be there with 30,000 people jammed into there like sardines. It was an enjoyable experience, so you can talk with the vendors and buy things and not trip over each other. So I think it's at a level now to where it's enjoyable without feeling like you're all squished and claustrophobic. So
Absolutely.
yeah, which is a good thing. So I don't know if they used to have more halls open or anything like that. If they did, then that changes things. But I don't know if there's any more halls in there they can open up unless they had it on the fairgrounds. And I mean, that's outdoors. So
Usually they have more halls open during the October show than they do with the April show. I remember the last April show that me and my dad went to last year. There were only like maybe 4 or 5 halls opened, and with the October show, I think you have at least like 8 or 9 of them, if my memory
okay.
serves correctly.
Yeah, I just have to learn where those are at. I'm sure they're there. I just didn't get a chance to see them. And you know what? I'm also going to do another video next time. And Jen brought this up. Sorry, I'm trying to tip my iPad to read the texts. This is kind of a pain. I gotta have a better setup for this next time. Jen brought up doing like a video for like first timers, and I'm gonna do that. So I think I'm gonna get there early next time, and I'm gonna bring my drone, my 360 camera, and just kind of bring all the cameras and do like a first timers. Like, everybody has a first time at York. It's not like just because you've been going there for 30 years doesn't mean everybody's been going there for 30 years. At some point, everyone has a first time. So I'm gonna fly the drone from what I'm thinking, across the property, kind of show where all the halls are at, do a little bit of an orientation. So when you roll up in the parking lot like I did, you're not lost. We rolled up in the parking lot. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I saw Nick from PGH, Train Fanatic, and he was a wonderful individual. He's like, hey, there's Orange Hall. There's where you get your badge. And the guy totally helped me out, just like everyone else in the YouTube community. Everyone was super helpful. And he kind of like, I got my bearings because of that. Luckily, I saw him in Dunkin' Donuts like 10 minutes prior, so like he knew who I was, and because he didn't know he was the only person I came across the entire weekend that never heard of my YouTube channel. He's like, yeah, I don't know if your videos are any good. I'm like, well, they're probably awful. That's probably why I haven't seen them, but this is the channel anyways. But either way, he was a nice guy. We laughed about it quite a bit, and but no, he helped me out. I rolled up, I didn't know where Orange Hall was. I looked for a map and I couldn't find it. At least I couldn't find a useful one that was legible that I could see without having to pull my glasses down while I was driving. Once I got there and I picked up my badge, or at least the badge holder, because they sent us the ID cards in the mail, so I got the holder there for $3. Then they gave you a map that was more useful. But again, like just having like, hey, this is what they have over here. This is what they have over here. Because I just saw like, blue, silver, white, black, purple, and red, and I'm like, all right, what's in all of them? I didn't know that Whitehall had a train layout in it until after. So I pushed Jen all the way up the hill to Red Hall, which is a big hill when you're pushing a wheelchair, and then we went all the way back down. And I saw Jeff from the Train Loft, who I bought my veranda from. He's like, yeah, my group's operating trains over in the Whitehall. I was like, damn it, I'm not pushing her back up the hill in the wheelchair. So we went back the next day. If you look at my videos, and we tossed the wheelchair and Jen in my car, and we drove to the top of the hill. And then I went out and did a video of the layouts and stuff like that. But again, I just didn't know. So to try to help out the younger viewers a few days in advance, I'll try to put something out there so they can reference it. And since I haven't been there for the fall show, if they have more buildings open like you're saying, I need to learn that anyways, so I can kind of set up a plan. If it's bigger than what we just experienced, and I didn't get a chance to hit up all the halls as it is, I'm in a world of hurt next time. Because now I'm gonna see friends and be talking with friends and still can't make these halls because it's a social event. So again, all really good problems to have. So I feel like I'm talking the whole time, Mike.
I think for me and my dad, the next time that we go up to the October show, I think I didn't mention this to him just yet, but I think what I'm going to do is suggest to him maybe we should start with both the silver and the blue halls first, because that's what we did originally when we first came up to our first York show back in 2022, and then built our way up to some of the other bigger halls. Like the Orange Hall, without a doubt, is the number one most, hangout location for any of the big YouTubers and big like model railroader vendors and so on. So, I want to in other words, I want to the next time me and my dad go up to York, I want to make sure that we start off with some of the smaller halls first and then move our way to the much bigger halls as we walk through the facility.
Yeah, and that's a nice plan to have. Again, because you've been there, right? So like you kind of knew where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think I posted a video. Yeah, I did. I did the video driving there. Like, hey, if you guys got any suggestions, on where to go. But the thing is, this was like 12 hours before the event, so like nobody had a chance really to respond. I eventually got somebody to respond on where to get good food at Round the Clock Diner, and I don't know why I didn't know that, because Eric Siegel posted on his last York video.
Mm-hmm.
Every meal that he ate, except for one, was at that damn diner. So
I know that he and his wife really got some really good. They really got some really good stuff in that diner. Last time I saw that video that he made.
yeah, they ate there a lot. So we ate there for one meal, and it was good. I don't disagree. But it turns out a lot of the YouTubers and a lot of the vendors from the Orange Hall would eat there quite a bit. So it was often full of just people, just our people. So, and I'm sure they enjoy all the business. It's a nice place, and all the hotels are surrounded by that place, or yeah, surrounded by that place, surrounding that place. So. Let's see. I'm looking at. I got a message here from JD Stucks. Let's see if he's watching the channel. No. Nope. It's not pertaining to this. I just want to see if it was pertaining to the stream. Since, let's see. Without a guide for that train show, it could have been a pain to navigate around. Yeah. If I didn't have everybody that I met, like yourself, every day I was so fortunate to meet more people. Like I said, Nick from PGH pointed which halls to go to. After I got in there. This is actually crazy. It's in my first video. So kind of. So we finally, we left Nick and we made it over to Berwyn Trains because I know where they're at. I'm like, all right, let me go to somebody that I know. Dackman, Sean was there videotaping, and he's the one that just posted the video saying that you're allowed to record. He just posted it 2 days prior, 3 days prior. So I see him and he's like, hey, Chris, RVP, is over at the trains booth. And I'm like, where's the trains booth? He's like, it's right over there. I'm like, I need like the little map with the moving "You Are Here" on it so I can figure out where the heck I'm going. Now I have a pretty good idea. But yeah, he sent me over to trains, and I'm like, I need to see RVP because I want to buy the Army veranda from him. I want it so bad. I'm an Army guy. And he's like, yeah, I sold it 4 minutes ago. I'm like, what? The doors just open. He's like, yeah, as I was walking in, the guy bought it from me. I'm like, ah. Turns out the guy follows my freaking YouTube channel, and he's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're a subscriber, so it's okay. But if it weren't a subscriber, it'd be a different story. So, but again, then I get over to that booth, and I'm talking with Chris for a while, and then I run across, more YouTubers. It just kept happening. Like, literally, my entire trip was dictated by how many YouTubers I met and what information they provided for me to follow on with my next steps. And that's why it went the way it did. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments. Talking about curmudgeons. Well, he is a father, so I mean, that ages you a little bit, doesn't it? So I want to go back just to see everyone again. Yeah, I'm with you. I bought 2 things the entire York. I had gone there expecting to leave with like a whole consist, or I bought a 70-inch by 30-inch rack for my car that's 30 inches tall to store all the stuff because I had to put Jen's wheelchair in there and her luggage and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna stack this with trains. No, I bought 2 things. I left very happy with how much money was in my bank account because I didn't spend anything. So that's a byproduct of it. But yeah, I want to go back just to spend more time with everybody. I want to try to work my way into the hangout groups, like the people that get together after the event, or like in the evenings or eat dinner together. We weren't a part of any of that, but it's kind of part of being the new guy. But if you're there next year, if you're there in the fall, and you got some stuff going on, Big Boy Trains, Steve, don't leave me out. Unless you don't want to see me, it's fine. And Oh, there's Mike. And if it's the next fall, let's not leave him out. So, where'd the fireworks come from? You got some fancy stuff.
I've actually just I think I might have unlocked it until I, put my thumbs up. Ironically, hold on. Let me just
Oh, is that like a thing?
There we go. It's very weird with this camera though, because even though I'm looking at it directly, when I look at the screen in front of me here, I feel like my head isn't really that well centered, as well as when I put my thumbs up, like right now, as you see.
Yeah. So, what are you using to film, to record this?
So before, when we started, I was using my phone, but because I've been getting like a bunch of phone calls here and there, I decided to switch over to my iPad because I feel like my iPad isn't really going to give me as much trouble like my phone is. Even though I do get better quality on my phone itself, I always keep my iPad as a spare backup in case I need it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I ended up doing. I ended up switching. I mean, here's the other stream right here. I just kept a second iPad Pro. I use them for work a lot in all my conference calls. So I generally have two iPads sitting here, but the camera's on the side. Like the camera needs to be at the top because it's kind of like always at the side. For somebody like Apple, nobody streams, live streams or does any video with the iPad vertical. We don't do that. So what are you doing? At least I don't know anybody that does that. So I'm hoping on the next iPad they put it at the top. But I believe that's because that's where the pencil charging is at. So they can't do that.
That could be.
That's the reason. I don't have a pencil, so I never worry about that. So
I feel like the easiest way for me to look straight into the camera is to look at the screen, the extra screen that's at the bottom of the description where I'm shooting the video as of right now. Because right now there's the video of you and me streaming together, but then at the bottom of the on my side of the stream as of right now, there's two extra screens on the bottom. So I feel like the easiest way for me to look, directly into the camera is to look at the bottom screen, which is what I've been mostly trying to do this entire time, as you can see.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. People are leaving the chat now, so saying goodbye to them. But no, that makes sense. So one thing I didn't ask is how long do you normally stream for? Because right about the time that you had going on, my food arrived.
Well, usually I know I mentioned this a bunch of times. I know some people tend to forget, but most of the time I try to stick with a specific day. I mean, I used to stream on Thursdays a lot, but considering how low my viewing has been getting on Thursdays, I switched it over to Wednesday, and then finally I decided to settle on Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, I tend to go at least like an hour and 45 minutes max. But if I'm lucky and if I decided I wanted to stream a little bit longer, I try to at least maybe go above 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes or so. I mean, it usually depends on what the situation really is. But mostly I just like to do the stuff that I love to do is to talk with you and some of the other model railroaders out there. I like to do running sessions. I like to do Q&As, the whole 9 yards. So like I said, it usually just depends on the situation of the stream.
So you don't think that Ben doing his stream at the same time as you affects your viewership? Do you think so?
I wouldn't think so, but at the same time, just because he has more viewers than I do on his Instagram account versus me on YouTube, I feel like that's not really going to interfere as much as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, when it comes to both YouTube and Instagram, the viewing is just very weird. It's almost like the people out there are trying to look for the top, model railroader guy out there who's more recognizable than others.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. So I can appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm asking more so because I just don't know. I've never watched his stream, but everybody is telling me to watch it, and including during years, people were sending it to me. I'll just watch it afterwards after the recording pops up. But yeah, the live stream thing for railroading is it's been eye-opening for this past week because I didn't know people that did that. I mean, I think I might have seen RVP do one. I saw one.
It's also funny. It's actually also funny that you mentioned him because me and him actually did a live stream a little while back, and this was actually before me and my parents moved into our new house.
Yeah.
And we actually originally did it on, what was it? I think it was on Zoom or something. But
Okay.
when I was uploading our live stream video to my YouTube channel, unfortunately the audio didn't go through. So hopefully the next time that me and him do another one of these live streams, it'll definitely be on StreamYard. But thankfully, because I'm using StreamYard, like I said, it'll upload the video to my channel without losing the audio.
Oh man, that was with Chris Rains from RVP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awful.
That was also the first time that I ever met him face to face. I mean, it's also kind of funny at the same time because when I started Facebook, I actually ran into his wife by accident. I
Okay.
mean, when I was following her on Facebook, I was thinking to myself, something about her looks kind of familiar, but at the same time, I was getting that feeling where I'm thinking to myself, something tells me I got to follow her. And the more pictures that she uploaded it, to her channel. The one picture came up with her and Chris together. I'm like, it's no wonder. I was like, no wonder she looks so familiar. That's Chris's wife. So I
Oh,
felt like I needed to, because he was new to the YouTube community at the time. I felt
yeah.
like I really needed to reach out to him and welcome him to the community at the same time. Who wouldn't? I mean, it's the most friendliest thing you can ever do. I mean,
Yeah.
not just for yourself, but everybody that you might interact with out there. I mean, you always want to be friendly and positive no matter what the situation is.
I saw that from 18 different creators this weekend, and I didn't expect any one of them to talk to me. Not a single one. I figured I didn't want to fanboy. I didn't want to run up to people, and
Mhm.
they got a lot of people that are going to be talking to them, so I just left it alone. But
Yeah,
no,
I'm not that type of person that would just geek out over anybody. I would just like play it cool just like I do with everybody else. And
yeah,
in other words, I always just like to play it low key like Bugs Bunny, I guess you could
nice,
say.
nice, very good. How about him selling most, or not most, but that many trains at
Mm.
Trains with a Z? I asked him about it, because we talked for quite a bit. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, we just, just like everybody else. He's real, just like all the rest of us. The guy's not rich. I'm not rich. You buy
Neither
some
am I.
trains. Yeah, you buy some trains, and he did what some of us have done. I've done it a couple times. You buy trains just for videos. Honestly, like I can make a really good video about that. And then like after the video's over, you're like, oh, well, darn, I paid for that. So he's got a few things, it makes sense. He's, dropped some of the stuff that it's not at the top of his list, which really shocked me that he sold the veranda because he seemed really happy about that Army veranda. I was blown away that he was selling it. I even was sending messages and trying to get a hold of whoever I could. Now I can get a hold of him, but before I didn't know how to get a hold of anybody to see if I can purchase it. But also to see on his Instagram post, the only thing he picked up from York was a whole lot of MTH stuff.
Mm.
And he said the conspiracy continues, you know?
Don't
So,
forget, he also just bought his first Atlas locomotive too, which I saw
true.
on one of his posts just a couple of hours ago before we started the stream.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. To sum it up, everything he bought was not Lionel,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's anything to that. I think, in personal opinion, I don't have any insider information on here. I just think that's a coincidence. And honestly, the MCH and Atlas stuff is a little bit more affordable. So if you're going to buy a lot of it, you can get a lot more that way. But again, I don't own any MTH equipment because I can't find a controller. Anybody in the stream know where I can get a controller? Can I get a TIU and a remote? One that's not an Alpha series. I want an L series like Lionel, the one with the USB port. I can't find one. Like I'm struggling. So, but yeah, we're approaching the 90-ish minute mark, and I was gonna try to grab some of the food that's downstairs before it gets cold. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would. Do you want to stay on for at least 15 more minutes or so, or
Yeah.
do you really want to
No,
go and have your meal while it's still warm? Or
that sounds like a compromise. So, and the only reason is I didn't know it was coming. That's the problem. Jen is downstairs, and I saw it pop up, and I'm like, oh, I don't think she realized how long the live stream was going to go. Not a big
oh
deal. So
boy,
yeah, let's talk. 15 minutes is not a problem at all. So
sure.
been here
So
for
I guess my
90.
next question.
So,
So I guess my next question is: I know you mentioned that you've been on YouTube for quite a while, and actually you've made a couple of videos on your channel for quite some time now. Do you think you can try to elaborate and tell us a little bit more about how it came to be?
so my current channel or my previous channels? Because my first channel is from 2007.
Your current
Okay, so my current channel, so I started that one on like December 31st. I just wanted to have the start date to be 2023. And then I didn't really start uploading videos until February. Hey, another subscriber. Cha-ching, thanks. So I didn't start uploading until I think around February-ish is where I had done like the Christmas videos and like stuff around the train for Jen's nephew, and like so the family can kind of see things because they live in Indiana, and when her nephew comes over, they just love the train. That's where it started. I kind of use that as an excuse to keep buying trains. Hey, your nephew loves it, and now it is what it is. But it started out as that, but I had hoped to make it into a YouTube channel sometime this year, and had no idea how fast it would grow. Things just kind of took off, As I was picking things up, I'm like, hey, I have this. I should make a video about it. And then I just decided, as I pick up something new, I'm just going to make a video about every new engine that I get, and any decent rolling stock that I get, like a Vision Line, anything is going to get a video because it's $400 or $500. And I just went that route, and it was a lot of fun for me. The creativity was it was challenging because I didn't know how to do like indoor filming as well. I have a nice DSLR camera that's great for outdoor filming. Once you bring it indoor, it's a huge animal that you got to try to figure out, and it just evolved into that. So as you can probably understand, and every creator can understand, it's how do you make your channel different? Because I don't want to be, copying off of, Chris Rains. I told him this. I mean, I can't start off my stream. Welcome back, folks. Hope you had a great week. And hold two trains up, next to each other. I can't do that. He's like, well, I don't own the rights to that. I'm like, I appreciate that. That is a great response, but the fans will know that I copied it from you. You may not care because you're just a genuinely awesome individual.
Mm-hmm.
But the fans would know, and they would pick up on that, and you don't want to do that to people. So you have to come up with your own thing. How do you cover the same thing as everyone else without covering the same thing as everyone else? So my thing, if you've seen my videos, is a long historical like intro or just some type of like long history. And then, like I said, I use the Mickey hand to point to things instead of like everyone uses the sticks. I thought it was more fun to have like a little Mickey Mouse hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then the green screen. So I will tell you that I have learned that me doing scripting versus me just flying off the hip, I can't listen to my videos where I haven't scripted because I don't enjoy them. The name of it. Wait, I thought you left. Wait, I thought you left the video 15 minutes ago. Did you announce your departure and you never took off? Is that what's going on?
He's really a sneaky guy, that dad flied.
Yeah, I'm seeing
You
that.
always gotta watch out whenever he shows up.
He announced his departure and his plane has not taken off yet. So, but yeah, I don't know. I want, like I said, so I went with the Mickey hand, I went with the green screen, and I went with the history, and it just works. So, so far it's worked. From here throughout the rest of the summer, I haven't really thought about much content. I got myself up to York, and then that was probably about it. So I don't know how I'm going to do things through the summer, where it's kind of like the off season for railroading-ish. That's mostly a winter hobby. I don't know. I got to find out what other people are doing. Talk to the other creators. I don't think I've really watched their videos through the summer either. So because I'm out racing bikes and I'm cycling and doing other things too. So we'll have to see. But hopefully that answers your question. It was a long-winded answer.
I even have some stuff to work out with my job in the next couple of days or so. So I won't be having that much time to make a whole lot of content either.
Yeah. So can I ask what you do for a living?
Sure.
What do you do for a living?
So I know it's been quite some time since I last been employed. I'm not going to explain how long that's been, but I just recently got a new job promotion at Acme on Coastal Highway, and they're looking for somebody to help stock shelves and organize some of their inventory. So when I was talking to the manager the last time I had an interview with her, she said to me that she thinks that I might be a good fit for the refrigerator aisle, where they have the dairy products as well as the vegetable produce. So
Okay.
it's also a good thing for me at the same time, because she also doesn't want me interacting with any customers that's going to give me a really hard time when I'm working. Not that
Okay.
I had any experience with that at all, but sometimes you never know how anybody else is going to interact with you.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that 100%. So you said so it's like a store type place?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, okay. I
Produce
did
store.
that. I'm trying to think, when did I worked at our local stores up here are named Jewel. So I did that for, I'm trying to think. I think when I can't remember when I did that for a short time. We had a whole group of friends, and like, I had one friend that was in the freezer section, one that was in produce. Like, we had this whole group of people that originally met in high school that kind of like worked at the same store. We all had the same hours. It worked out pretty cool. Um, but yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, you don't have to get into, as far as the personal details, because we all have personal details. We all have histories. I'm trying to think, from 2010 to 2014. I don't think I worked, but I was in an incident while deployed where I spent years being sewn back together by the VA surgeons. So like, it happens. We all have things that happen, whether it be, personal, medical. It's fine.
Hmm.
So it's just kind of how life goes. If somebody's not going through it now, they will, or they have at some point, right? It's just how things go. So, but yeah, you had other questions?
Oh, I can't really think of anything at the top of my head as of right now, but let me see if there's anybody in the comments section here that might have something.
Let's see. Keep up the great podcast for years. Uh, I feel like the old man. I gotta bring down my spectacles to read the chat.
Hey, we're still children on the inside.
Oh, this is awesome, David. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is why I posted the video. I bought two big boys, and both of them had the issues to where we had to solder wires on the inside of the darn things, and it's a $3,000 engine. Okay, so it's not 3,000 in the catalog, but our taxes here at our local store in Cook County for Chicago are 10%. That is a lot of money on a nearly $3,000 engine.
That's even
10%.
more than the 7% that me and my family used to experience back in Denellen.
Yeah, yeah, 10%. That's so hard for these stores. But no, that I love that you got something out of that. That's huge. So I had a little bit different experience, since you watched the video, the video that RBP shared, which again, super grateful you shared my 30-minute big boy video. Yeah, when they assembled the big boy, in between the metal, like where the metal links up, it sliced several of the wires in several different spots. So there was so many issues. I will tell you that when I got to York, that engine was still there. So they had sent that big boy off to Lionel. It's been totally repaired. All of those parts have been swapped out by Lionel, which is great. I'm happy to see it, because it's not the store's fault. The store didn't do anything for that to happen. But they swapped out all the parts. But it was killing me that engine was there, because I returned it to them. And when I bought another one, they didn't have another one. So I bought it from a different company or a different store. So it really kind of tore me apart seeing that big boy box sitting there, because I had committed to it, and then I returned it because so many things, it was beyond fixable for as far as I was concerned. And I wasn't going to mail an engine that I just took delivery of that was broken. I wasn't mailing it back to Lionel. Like, that's that much wrong with it. That's not a responsibility I wanted to take. But I saw that engine leave while I was at York. No problem. I was right there when that engine departed, and I know the individual that took possession of it, and I'm really happy about it. So this is an individual that can appreciate everything that went on with it. It's still got a little bit of history as far as my videos, because it's in my video. I took photos of it at the store, and filmed it at the store and stuff like that. So it's got some big boy trains history in that engine. But to know that this individual took possession of it, and for a very nice trade, a very sizable trade for a Vision Line big boy, to help facilitate that trade, and for him to take it and be happy, it was kind of like the perfect way to end my York, because that's the last thing that happened. Is I was walking out of York. I just put Jen in the car, and actually I saw you guys. I saw that Three Rails for Dads crew with And then let's see, Larkin and Sid was there. All of you guys were there, like as I was walking out the door, which is pretty cool to see you guys. But yeah, I was there at Berwyn's when the trade happened. I got to see the big boy depart, and the burden was removed from my shoulders for that engine. That really shouldn't have been a burden because I didn't make the darn thing. It came from Lionel like that, and I'm doing things a little bit differently. I appreciate that support. But yeah, so I saw that trade happen. That was a huge burden lifted. And then I'm walking out of the hall, and I hear you guys call my name, or at least a couple of you called Steve, and a couple of you called Big Boy Trains, because people didn't know my name yet. And then I had that nice conversation, nice photo op with everybody. So it was really, we started the day meeting, or the start of the weekend meeting Nick from PGH, and we ended the day meeting the 6 or 8 of you guys that were there. And I can't say enough. Like, Jen's just like, wow, like this is a big deal. This is a big social event. We expected it to be just like a bunch of old guys, in their 90s, play with the toy trains, and there's some of that, which good for them. That's not a hit on them. I love to see the old guys there. I love to get the stories. I love to get the experience from them. Hey, I got a question. How did you guys do this? Because I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I've done that 30 times. Well, cool. Help me learn so I don't have to make the same mistakes you did. But it was really kind of like a mix between the old guys who were very talkative and very friendly, and then the young guys that were also very talkative and friendly. Let's see, there's a comment there. I can't see without my glasses. Let's see, the big boy in live running in 2018 Wisconsin. Here, tears in my eyes. So Alaska Railroad, I saw it at the same time. I might be able to pull up the photo. I may or may not be able to. But yeah, when they came down, I think they left Wisconsin and they came to Chicago, or vice versa. But I saw them right about the same time, and it was really cool to stand next to it and touch it. It was awesome. So I got a bit of a background here. So there's an invite from the Illinois Railway Museum to go assist with the big boy when it comes back to Chicago. And that's a huge freaking badge of honor if I am able to join in on that. But to actually like go behind the scenes with Union Pacific while the big boy is there at West Chicago and getting all of its servicing and stuff, I absolutely, once I got that offer tossed out that they were looking for people to assist from the Railway Museum, I'm like, yes, please, because I'm a member there, and to be volunteering as soon as this arm works. So let me see if I can find my big boy video. I may not be able to find it in such short notice. It'd be pretty cool if I could. Yeah, no, I searched trains and it just pulls up the thousands of photos that I've taken since I started my channel, and it's still spinning like a slot machine loading all the photos. That's unfortunate because it would have been pretty cool to have that photo. Oh, I did find it. Yes. So this is, I don't know if you can see it. That's 4014 in West Chicago, and that's when I realized just how big it was, because that individual is about a foot shorter than the wheels. Those are some huge drivers. But yeah, I actually I took a bunch of photos of it. It was just really cool to see it going by, and now I own the model version of it.
Very nice.
All right, so you're back.
Yep.
So what are we looking at here? The time is a little bit off, because the time says live for an hour and 59 minutes, but it's only 8:42 Central Time. Is that because you started it before time to get it all set up, probably?
I guess so.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, that probably might be the reason why.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So, all right, I got to read in the comments. Steve, I wanted to get a signature from Ed, but didn't get it. It's the, oh man, yeah, that would be pretty cool. A signature, a photo. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Hey, this thing's coming around again. I just clicked on a video just before this to save it for later. The schedule for 4014 for this year is coming out, and people are doing videos on it. So just may have to travel a little bit to one of its stops, but it's going to be coming out. So there's your next opportunity. Let's see. I'm trying to read all these comments. Let's see. It really had to be a site, Alaska. I can't run anything that big here in New Jersey from what. Oh yeah, because, well, not only I'm assuming the rail size or the turns, right? That's a huge engine. But I mean, they ran some pretty decent stuff out there, didn't they? Unless stuff has changed. Um, I don't know much of the history east of Chicago. I'm more of like a Union Pacific, Burlington Northern kind of guy. I don't know anything about Penn Central or Pennsylvania or Conrail other than like the sequence of how they worked out with New York Central and all that. That's the extent of my historical knowledge for anything east of Chicago. Being in Chicago, we're fortunate because everybody comes here. You know, it's a major hub. You know, stuff. You got Norfolk and CSX and everybody from the east, and then Burlington Northern, Union Pacific from the west. So we get to kind of see all of them at all the big rail yards here. If you're a big rail fan, Chicago's great because there's everything that you could want. But yeah, no, that's a good point. So I don't. I would love to learn some of that. And while I was out at York, going into the Pennsylvania Railway Museum, I'm looking at these engines and I don't even know what they are. But I can tell you, like, you know, details about a Challenger, a Big Boy, a Veranda, Gen 1, Gen 3 G-Tails. I can tell you a lot about the stuff that the Union Pacific had, but some of that stuff that they had at the museum, I've never seen before. So, which is kind of a good problem because there's always something new for you to experience. Once I experience most of the Western rail stuff, then I can always go Eastern. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm out, everyone. Been a pleasure. Yeah, David, I'm going to do about the same here in the next couple minutes too. So thanks for all the positive comments. Go ahead. No, you were saying?
I was just agreeing with you because I actually I gotta head out pretty soon too because I gotta take my dogs outside and I gotta take care of my recycling bins and bring my mom's plants in. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got the dog downstairs that can't walk, so the only time he goes outside is when I actually physically carry him. Jen can't take him out because she can't walk, so I'm gonna do the same too. Take my puppy out, my 14-year-old puppy, and then get some food. So, Mike, I appreciate the invite. This has been a cool experience, even though we had some technical issues. But seeing people in the chat that I've actually seen in person, which is pretty darn cool. I didn't expect that. It's you know, hopefully I get to meet the rest of the people that have been in the chat and yourself in person here. I'm sure if it's not York, we'll set something up between now and then. But
anytime, Steve.
it's been a good time. I appreciate
Sure
you having
has.
me.
Well,
So,
thank you again for joining me tonight. It was it was just really great talking to you, man.
same to you. So how do you close these live streams out? How's this work?
So I would usually have to log you out on my end. So you probably wouldn't do it on your end. I would actually have to log you out myself.
Okay, sounds good. Well, again, thanks everyone. I appreciate the hospitality. Again, Steve from Big Boy Trains, and I appreciate the all the subscribers that I've got because they've probably been from this live stream. So thank you for that. Appreciate the assist. You guys have a
Also,
good night.
if you guys want to go ahead and follow Steve's channel, I left a little link in the description down below, so that way you guys can go check out his videos. Highly recommend them. They're really not just entertaining, but Steve is really moving up in the world.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that, the kind words. So again, until next time, you guys all take care now.
All right, guys. So we have at least 30 more minutes of the live stream here. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up with a little running session. But once again, I just want to thank Steve again for joining us tonight. It was such a pleasure having him on the live stream. All right, let's go ahead and hook up the big boy here. Okay, guys. So as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell for any more YouTube live streams that I do, whether it's a running session or talking with somebody online. Make sure to stay tuned for more, and I hope to see you all next week.